Apologies for the absence. The past couple weeks have been busy ones, not only for me, but for the world. I put out a few pieces back in the beginning of April that expressed the concern and kind of utter disgust with the direction this administration was going. I still kind of feel that way, not only because it's hurting Americans in our country, but meanwhile, Israel benefits. Probably one of the only ones that do. So, through all of that, you may have kept up with and been privy to the drama that has happened regarding the lack of an Iranian Israeli US ceasefire, one that would hopefully open the Strait of Hormuz and quell any lingering energy market volatility, but it hasn't. The US was able to procure a ceasefire a couple weeks ago, but it wasn't 24 hours before our greatest ally, Israel, decided to strike southern Lebanon. Vice President J.D. Vance was sent to Pakistan, who is the country, I guess, that stepped up to be the mediator in this conflict's discussions. Talk about drawing the short straw. Yet, unsurprisingly, the vice president was not able to get it done. Not blaming him, it can't be easy to try to negotiate with a country that now knows it's more powerful than it was before this all started, and another country that has no intention of ending this because they have bet on this moment for 40 years. Can't be easy. But here's the latest on negotiations. The temporary ceasefire from April 8th is technically still in place, but due to its constant violations, it's hard to believe it's in effect. You may have heard the US impose a naval blockade on Iran in the Strait, where they have targeted ships. Iran, however, has not stopped their attempts to disrupt traffic. It's hard to say who really controls the Strait at this exact moment, with all the lies and propaganda, misinformation we hear. These talks, being mediated through Pakistan, are not direct. Both sides lack trust for a good reason. Iran says they have no intention of negotiating on surrender terms. Now, here's our propagandized understanding of either side's terms. The United States wants Iran to give up their efforts of enriching uranium. They want limited missile production as well as stopping regional proxy activity, which are the various factions the Iran government funds in the area, all of which threaten Israel, or so we're told. Iran disagrees with the prohibition on domestically enriching uranium. They demand the US remove the sanctions and refuse to negotiate under economic pressure. Well, that's exactly what the United States is doing. New sanctions were just placed on Chinese refineries that buy Iranian oil, as well as shipping networks tied directly to the country. President Trump has repeatedly threatened that time is running out for the Iranian regime to agree to his terms. His massive strike on energy that we've heard about, energy infrastructure in the country, keeps on getting pushed off for some reason, though. Could be because we aren't actually as strong as we originally thought. Maybe the president still rationally believes and understands the massive consequences of bombing infrastructure in the region would have on globally. You think that oil prices are high now, just wait. But just recently, it was announced that talks will proceed soon without the advisory of the vice president. They will be carried on through Steve Witkoff and the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. And that's something to look forward to because it worked so well the last time those two were involved. On a true semi-positive note, as positive as you can be, when asked if he would ever consider the use of nuclear weapons, President Trump rightly struck down any idea or consideration of that. Here's the clip.
Against Iran. You posted on
No.
Truth Social
No,
a few weeks ago.
We don't need
That's
it.
not
Why do
what
I need
about.
it? Why would a stupid question like that be asked?
You posted
Why would
on
I?
Truth
Why would I
Social.
use a nuclear weapon? We've totally, in a very conventional way, decimated them without it. No, I wouldn't use it. A nuclear weapon should never be allowed to be used by anybody. So,
At least we can be assured that there will be no massive jump to world-ending decisions yet, now that Iran's foreign minister arrives in Pakistan and Trump expects an offer satisfying U.S. demands. Skipping ahead, so many people don't take the time to educate themselves on the day-to-day legislative issues being debated, passed, or signed into law, ones that affect them very directly. So instead of you searching and trying to decipher the purposefully confusing dialogue within these bills, we have brought this week's developments to you. Here we go. The Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, as you may know it, was signed into an extension last week. only until the end of this month, effectively buying additional time for debates and discussions surrounding the issue. The recent disagreement is mainly about Section 702, which allows the U.S. to collect communications of non-Americans outside the country. For example, if you're contacting a family member or a friend outside the U.S., then this gives the government access to those communications. They say that only the friend is being monitored, but your side of the conversation is inadvertently picked up too, which is a clear invasion of privacy that is passed off as national security concerns. If this is allowed, then where does the surveillance stop? We already know the intel agencies access Americans' information and daily lives every day to an Orwellian effect. The House has passed a Haitian protection bill that grants migrants from Haiti to temporarily apply for legal status and work permits. This is one of the first bipartisan immigration bills to pass on this session. Depending on how you look at it, this could take jobs away from able-bodied Americans. However, any illegal migrant that comes forward to work and temporarily legal status is put on the books, so to speak. Therefore, the government knows who they are, and in 3 years when their term is up, they could be deported. So this could be a sly way to understand who is in the country, possibly, illegally, and get a record on them. This is great unless the Democrats win in 2028, which is roughly 3 years from now. This is expected, and if the case, these illegals and possibly dangerous migrants will no doubt be staying, probably put nicely in high-rise Tribeca apartment. No expense to them, of course, covered graciously by the American taxpayer. The Senate this week also passed a DHS funding bill that would contentiously extend funding to ICE and Border Patrol. It now heads to the White House with uncertainty. This will be debated, no doubt, throughout the week. Those were the top 3 legislative priorities passing through Washington last week, and more to come on that. Please let us know if you want to hear about any legislation that is unsettling or you are uncertain in the comments, or send us a message directly and we will respond to that. Thank you for the support, and we will see you soon. Thank you.